Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is truly the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the Morning Glory Show, where in the morning all things are new. And we thank God for His grace and His mercy, His brand new mercies that He give us every single day. I say good morning. Yes, yes. We praise the name of the Lord today. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. I pray that you all are having a blessed morning today. I am so excited to be with you all today. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I hope your morning is well. I'm just adjusting here so that we can come before one another. Listen, are you excited about this morning? I'm truly excited about this morning today. So we're going to turn our music down and we are going to get involved. We're going to get involved today because I have a great topic for us today. So listen, as you can see, first of all, I want to say good morning and welcome to those who are on Periscope right now. I say good morning and welcome to those of you all who are on Facebook Live. Listen, if you don't have your morning glory journal, then listen, I want to make sure that you download it so that you can definitely follow along with us throughout the day. As a matter of fact, the topics that we will be discussing every single day is already in the journal. So all you have to do is take your notes, okay? So make sure that you go to the link right there, bit.ly/morning journal, and get your free morning journal. And then, you have yours already, Periscope? Great, thumbs up to you. And then, this coming Friday, we have our new segment, which I am so excited about. It's called Ask the Pastor with Reverend David Lee. And so listen, you may have some questions that you have just been yearning to get an answer. Maybe you didn't ask them because you were embarrassed. Well, listen, you can submit those questions to us and we will get those questions answered for you. And guess what? You can be anonymous. You can be anonymous. So on every Friday, Pastor Lee is going to come on and he is going to address some questions that you have already asked in advance. And if we have additional time, then what we would do is address any questions that you all submit during the live broadcast. Is that all right? Listen, why don't you go ahead and invite somebody to join the broadcast right now? If you're on Periscope, go ahead and share. If you're on Facebook Live, go ahead and hit that little man on the left bottom corner and invite somebody and share the broadcast. So listen, we're going to go ahead and get starting in our topic today because I know that your time is valuable. So I appreciate you joining on with me. Listen, we're going to talk about fear. Now, you and I both know there is so much information out there about fear and why we should not fear, right? They say fear is false evidence appearing as real. They say, what would you do if you wasn't afraid? All these different things that we hear about fear. But the reality is, fear still plays a major role in our lives, right? Fear will make us do things and fear will prevent us from doing other things, right? So the reality is this, even though we have a lot of information on why we should not fear, the reality is we still sometimes succumb to fear. right? And so today I want to just share with you a little bit about the devastating effects of fear, and then how we literally can successfully overcome this thing that steals from us, this thing that robs us, this thing that literally takes our breath away at times, right? And so first I want you to know this. A lot of times people will say the opposite of faith is unbelief, right? I want you to know today that's not true. The opposite of faith is fear. The opposite of faith is fear, because both fear and faith focus on the future, which is unknown to you and I. Fear literally cancels out your faith. You know, when the Lord says that it is impossible to please me without faith, I'm here to tell you that whatever faith you have, fear will cancel out your faith, okay? Fear will cancel out your faith, because it literally freezes you and I in our tracks, and it does not allow us to move forward. Regardless to how wonderful the plan is, magnificent the plan is, well thought out the plan is, it will not allow us to execute that plan. Have you ever think about this? If you're taking a road trip from destination A to destination B, and you have it all mapped out, you know, all the detours, all the rest stops. But I promise you, if you allow fear to consume you, and maybe fear is telling you, what if you're going to get in an accident while you're on the road? What if your tire is going to blow out on the road? What if your debit card or your credit card isn't going to work, and you're going to wind up running out of gas while you're on the road? What if you make a wrong turn? What if you doze off behind the wheel? Do you see where I'm going? If you make this great plan to go from destination A to destination B, but yet you allow fear to start overtaking you, you will stop and say, you know what? I don't think this road trip is a good idea. That's the same kind of things we do when God put us on a path to finding our journey. When God puts us on a path to walking in our purpose, you know, He give us enough so that we can get excited, so that we can be inspired, so that we can be motivated. But when we begin to try to work that thing out in our own strength, that's when fear comes in and literally rob us. And so we begin to say, maybe that wasn't God. Maybe that was just me. Maybe this is too big for me. With my past, certainly the Lord would not want to utilize me like this. But what if it's your job? What if you want a new position, and actually the position is open? You know you're qualified. You've been there a long time, but you say, you know what? I really don't have that college degree. I got experience, but I don't have that college degree, so I'm not going to even go and apply, because they're going to reject me anyway. Fear. You see how fear literally robs you of what it is that God would have you to do. So I just want to really quickly just tell you a few things that fear does if you don't get control over it. The first thing is fear will disregard God's plan. Fear will make you disregard God's plan for you. You know, God has a plan. He has a perspective. He has things lined up in order. He's very intentional. And then He will share His plan with us, because remember, He says, I'm the one who created you. I'm the one who know all about you. I'm the one who put the plan in place for you. But when we allow fear to overtake us, it will literally have us disregard God's plan. I think the best example of that in the Bible is the children of Israel. God said, I need you all to go forth and take the land. As a matter of fact, I've already given the land to you. But as they began to move, and as they began to press forward, fear began to overtake them, and they began to question. Instead of moving forward to the promised land, they began to hang out in the wilderness. I don't want to hang out in the wilderness. Do you want to hang out in the wilderness? I don't want to hang out in the wilderness, because guess what? There's nothing in the wilderness. There's no life in the wilderness. And so the first thing, fear will cause you to disregard God's plan for you. Secondly, fear will distort God's purpose. As the children of Israel was moving along, and they did hit some bumps and bruises, but that was a part of God's plan. Do you know they began to think that the Lord must brought them out there to kill them? Come on now. Look at all of what God has done for you. God has protected you from seen and unseen dangers, incidents, and accidents, right? But yet, as you begin to get on that road and things look a little bleak, you'll begin to think that, God, did you bring me out here to leave me by myself? God, did you bring me out here for me to die? That's what the children of Israel were literally thinking. So the second thing I want you to know is that fear will make you distort God's purpose. It will make you distort God's purpose. It will have your mind thinking one way, totally opposite of what God would have for you to do, right? I want you to know the third thing is that fear literally discourages you. It will prevent you from moving forward. You will be fearful. You will not have any courage. You will not have any motivation. You will not have any inspiration, because fear will literally discourage you. All right? It will discourage you. Think about this. It only takes one person to infect you with fear. I want to reflect back on the children of Israel. Remember, it was 12 spies that went out. 10 came back with a negative report, and that 10 literally infected the whole camp to the point where they refused to go forward. So fear will discourage you from moving forward. Fear will also cause you to disbelieve God. Now, when was the last time God lied to you? Right, never. But fear will make you say, I don't believe God on this situation. I know he said he's sovereign. I know he said he's omniscient. I know he said he's omnipresent. I know he said he's omnipotent. But right now, I don't believe God. Fear will literally cause you to disbelieve God's promises for you. Fear is a dangerous thing, and it's nothing that we need to be attached to. Because remember, God said he didn't give us the spirit of fear. So if God didn't give us the spirit of fear, we got to ask, where did it come from? God said, I gave you the spirit of love and a sound mind. I didn't give you the spirit of fear. And so fear will cause you to disbelieve. And then last, fear will cause you to disobey. God will say, go left, and you say, I got to go right. God will say, go right. You say, I got to go left. God said, fear not, do not be afraid. So anytime we willingly disobey what God has told us to do, that's disobedience, right? So when God say fear not and we fear, that's disobedience. When God say be courageous and we choose not to, that's disobedience. So fear will cause us to disregard, disobey the plan that God has for us. Now, I know none of you all really want to be in that predicament, or anybody want to be in that situation, because now you see that fear is not your friend. As a matter of fact, fear is your enemy, right? Fear is your enemy. So I'm going to recap real quick before I tell you how to overcome that thing, right? Fear, what did I say? Fear will have you disregard God's plan for you. Fear will distort God's purpose. Fear will discourage you. Fear will literally have you disobeying what God has for you. Again, fear is not your friend, it's your enemy. So let me tell you how you go about overcoming this thing called fear. The first thing that I want you to know is you're going to have to confess it honestly. At the end of the day, if fear is real in your life, you have to address it. And so you have to take that thing to the Lord and let God know all the things that you are fearful of. Lord, I'm fearful of losing my job. Lord, I'm fearful of losing my house. Lord, I am fearful that my marriage is not going to stay together. Lord, I'm fearful that my health is ailing. Father, I am fearful. You got to confess that thing, because as long as you keep it to yourself and don't take it to the Lord, the longer it's going to be used to hold you back, right? And so you got to confess that fear, and you got to confess it honestly. I remember somebody telling me, never be afraid to confess the things that you're going through to the one who loves you. Listen, God loves you more than anybody or anything. As a matter of fact, this morning I was just reading a scripture that literally brought tears to my eyes, and I pray I can get through this right now. God said in Isaiah 46:19, I believe, he said, I've literally engraved you on my hands. Think about people who get your name tattooed on them. And you be like, oh, he got my name tattooed on his shoulder. He got my name tattooed on his back. He got my name tattooed on his hand. He must love me. And then in a week he's gone, right? God said, me, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who made you. Good morning to those who are just joining on Facebook and Periscope. But God says, I engraved you on the palm of my hands. That means that when something is on your hands, you can't do nothing but see it, right? Because you're always working with or moving with your hand. Just think how awesome that is to be. You, woman of God, you, man of God, are engraved on the palms of God. Man, that brought tears to my eyes this morning. So listen, confess your fears to him who has you engraved not only on his hands, but in his heart. The second thing is, I got to tell you and be real. You got to confess that sin. You got to confess that fear as a sin. Why? Because God said, child, do not fear. So when God says, don't gossip, and we gossip, that's sin, right? When God says, do not do this, and we do it anyway, that's sin, right? Let's be honest. Let's be real. If God says, don't do this, and we choose to do it anyway, at the end of the day, I don't care how you try to butter it up, it's called sin. So when God says, do not fear, and we choose to fear, that's sin. I know it sounds a little rough, but the reality is, it is what it is. And so therefore, the second thing is confess your fear as a sin. Lord, I know you told me not to fear. As a matter of fact, you told me that you didn't even give me the spirit of fear. So when we operate in fear, we're not even walking in God's spirit. He don't know nothing about fear. He told Joshua, be courageous, fear not. He don't know nothing about fear. So secondly, confess that fear as a sin. Thirdly, this is so cool right here. And I said cool, but this is so nice. I need for you to claim God's promises over your life. When you begin to decree and declare God's promises of protection over your life, fear has no place, right? So what are some of the promises of protection? God said, I will make your enemy your footstool. Protection. God said that your enemies will come at you in one direction, but they will have to flee in 7. Protection. God said that you are the head and not the tail. Protection. God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Protection. God said that if you obey me, your enemies will be my enemies. Protection. Right? God said that I will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Protection. See, when you call upon the word of the Lord and what he has said, you will get energy and you will get strength to make it through this day. Remember, you've already asked God for your daily bread. So claim God's protection over your life so that you will overcome fear. Also, you need to cultivate a relationship with God. Yes, I said it. If you don't have a relationship with God, you can't walk in his spirit. You can't walk in his energy because you don't know anything about it. So you got to cultivate a relationship with the Lord. Get closer to him. What does cultivating a relationship with the Lord look like? I'm glad you asked. It looks like being intentional about setting some quality time with him. Every morning at 5 o'clock, my alarm goes off. Whether I'm tired or not, it goes off. And I get up. I get up because it's more important for me to ask God for guidance and direction for the day versus staying in the bed and getting a few more moments of sleep. See? So I make God a priority every day. So I get up. I listen to a little praise and worship music. I go ahead and meditate. I just shut everything off and I just focus on how good God is. I start thanking him for everything. I thank him for everything. I thank him for everything. I let God know that I understand he's generous. I let God know that I'm grateful. I want God to know I'm coming from a grateful heart. And then I pray. And then I read a scripture from the Bible. Or maybe like this morning, I just wanted to find so many scriptures that display God's love for me. And so I Googled it, y'all. I Googled it. Google is a good friend of mine. I Googled it just to find out all the scriptures that talk about God's love for me. And it really just gave me a sense of a father loving a child, right? So listen, make that special time with the Lord. Cultivate a relationship with Him. When you do that, fear cannot have a place in your life because you're now being fed by God's Spirit versus the spirit of your enemy and that fear. And then the last thing is just commit your life to the Lord. Commit your life to the Lord. Commit your life to the Lord, right? Just commit to Him. He knows the plans He has for you. He said His plan is to give you a hope in the future. He said, my child, I don't want to harm you. I don't want to hurt you. I just want you to have an abundant life. Now, think about this. Can I be real right now? If a guy came to you, and if there's guys on the line, if a girl, but I see more girls on, so I'm gonna stick with this. If a guy came to you and said, baby, listen, I just want to give you an abundant life. I just want you to have the best of everything. When you wake up, I want you to smile. Throughout your day, I want you to smile. Even when you go to bed, I want you to smile because you thinking about how good I am to you. Baby, I ain't gonna never harm you. I just want to give you hope. I just want to give you a future. I just want to make sure that you good. Would you not commit to that man? Come on. Would you not say, oh, I think he's the one. This is my Mr. Right. Would you not commit to him? Yeah, you would. So what am I saying? That's what God has said to you. That's what God said to you. He said, daughter, oh, I got you covered. Can't nobody cover you like me. Can't nobody love you like me. Can't nobody protect you like me. Can't nobody soothe you like me. Can't nobody comfort you like me. Can't nobody caress you like me. Can't nobody open doors for you like me. Can't nobody close doors for you like me. Can't nobody fight a battle for you like me. Can't nobody. Can't nobody. So since that's what the Lord can do for you and can't nobody else do it, then commit to him. Commit to him so that you can have the best of everything. So that you can have things that your mind can't even think of right now. Commit to the Lord. All right? And those are the ways that you overcome your fear. You confront it. You confess it. You claim God's protection over your life. You cultivate a relationship with the Lord. And then you commit yourself to him. Those are the ways that you overcome fear. So listen, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to share this broadcast. Would you do me that favor and share this broadcast? Because somebody in your network has been overcome by fear and they don't even realize that it is separating them from the abundant life that God has for them. And if you would just be so kind and share this broadcast with them, maybe they will step up and get rid of that fear that's in their heart, that's in their mind, that's in their spirit right now. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I thank you for joining on to the Morning Glory Show, where all things are new in the morning. If you're a lady here, join my private Facebook group, Jewels of Success Suite. I would love to serve you in that private community. Also, don't forget to get your Morning Glory Journal. It's free. All you have to do is go to the link that's in the broadcast, download your journal for free. And then lastly, I'm so excited to have my husband be a part of this now with our new segment that comes on Fridays called Ask Ask the Pastor with Reverend David Lee. And I thank you all for your thumbs up. I thank you all so much for your hearts. And here you can submit your questions and he will answer them on our Friday broadcast. And if we have time outside of the advanced questions, then you may have some questions live throughout the broadcast and he will answer those as well. But know this, that your questions will be anonymous. He's not going to say such and so from New Jersey has this question. No, we're just going to read the question and he's going to provide for you an answer. And if your question needs in-depth answering, then if you submit your email with it, he will even give you your answer via email as well, so that you can feast on it. Because again, we know that when you can get certain questions answered, especially pertaining to your spiritual development, you can continue to move forward so that you really truly can enjoy that abundant life that God has for you, where he said, I don't want you to lack in anything. So listen, that is my time today. You go out and you make today great, because God has given you the authority and permission. And understand this, that whatever comes your way today, know that with you and God, nothing can overtake you, because you are pulling on the highest form of energy and power when you tap into the Lord. So I say good morning again to each and every one of you all. I love you. I thank you for plugging in. And again, share this broadcast so someone else can be blessed. And I thank you so much for your prayers. And you all have a good day. I love you all. Bye-bye.